Some reasons I'm told turn the desert to gold. Blah, blah. Oh, as soon as I sing that, it's going to be copyrighted. Dang it. I hate all of you. It's way too easy to copyright. Singing under your breath should not be a copyrightable offense. Oh, well. It's not like, they care. Oh, as soon as I sing that. Oh, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Mute. Okay. Oh, I guess people are going to want to find out about this. Let's, I guess, send it to the Discords. Joe's streaming. Told you it was going to happen. Do 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 do. Okay, so there's that. Oh, no, Joe, don't start, responding to all the... Alright. Oh, hey, you can see everything that's open. Oh, well, don't bother me none. Now, let's hope this opens at the correct spot. Swirly, swirly. I think that's supposed to be a gaming controller. No, it did not. Alright, now you can see all my friends. All my peeps. I'm not going to click that, make it bigger. That'll get me in trouble. Alright, everybody here keeps telling me to, so I'm going to send it here. Paste. They will never find me. Alright, good. Now that I've got that, no one will ever actually see. Let's make that smaller so I can actually read. Oh, dang, wow, you guys got everywhere. Note to self. Clean off art desk before doing art stream. That's how it works, right? Alright. So, because no one's here, I'm going to start alphabetically. How should I make this? Come here. There we go. No, I don't need edit. I want file, new. I keep thinking that's big enough, and it's not big enough. So we're going to go 2,000. 2,000. And then someone who's actually used to digital art, because by the way, as if anyone who follows my Twitter notices, Joe don't do digital art. Joe does not do digital art at all. Advanced options. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Resolution, RGB. Fill it with transparent, that's fine. Comet, created with GIMP, that doesn't bother me. 16-bit integer, precision. I should know what all this means. In my defense, I just woke up, but I should know what all of this means. Oh, I've got a couple other people I think that might want to... I guess we'll also post it in my actual Discord, which no one should ever join, because it's not my actual Discord. Down the road, I still probably won't make one. I'm too lazy and I prefer to be in other people's too much. Alright, for the 5 people that might want to know about that, let's go ahead and throw one in here for the 5 people that might want to know about it. That, and I mean 5 people total. I don't mean 5 people in each one. Evil laughter. Ah ha ha ha. Self-promo. There we go. That's what it's supposed to be in. Paste. Okay, and I think people want to know about it in this one. At least a couple. There's a lot of overlap. So it's like, woo, but you know, whatever. There we go. There we go. All right. All right. I've thrown it everywhere that I think anybody cares. So now they cannot claim that I do not do whatever I do that I do. Part of me wants to throw music up in the background, which will automatically copyright claim the video, which I don't care because I'm not going to make any money on the video. And I draw it art anyways. Or draw it. In my defense, I literally rolled out of bed 15 minutes ago. Fed the cat. Took my pills. Stretched, cracked. Like, I'm still in my sleeping wear. Which you don't need to know about. Ooh, excuse me. Alright, I threw it any place that anybody cares. Any music that I throw up. I still think it's funny that has gotten so many freaking hits. That one is copyrighted, so yeah. I'm looking at things I shouldn't be looking at. I'm supposed to be drawing. Might pull up some my recording software. Oh no. Whatever will I do now that they've seen that for 10 seconds? You guys can go back and pause it and go, oh, you're so outdated. And I'll be like, yes. And then I'll just nod at you. Music. I could throw on audiobooks. Down Bad Sandy. I'm very tempted to click this one. But then that'll probably jump up the, I don't even remember when I saved this. Down Bad Sandy. Alright. I should probably not listen to audiobooks. Even though it's also something I do while drawing. Old time radio I might get away with. Dude, I listen to a lot of old-time radio. The Whistler. How long are you? You're only 6 minutes. Wow, these ones are really short. Oh. It's because they're old broadcasts. Alright, 1 second. Alright. Oh, phlegm. It's a beautiful thing in the morning. Do 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 do, bump bump, do 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 do, bump bump. You know what? Actually, I know exactly what we can listen to. We can listen to me. I'm going to cheat. We are going to listen, and I will throw this playlist and list down below. Where are you? Where are you? Where are? There we go. I think this is the yep. This is the biggest one I've got. Okay. Let's go ahead and shuffle.
Japanese tales. Home in a chest. At one time, Kaishu, the abbot.
Okay, that's background music, right? Good. You have no choice. It is background music.
Most prominent.
A little bit of noise to help me think.
The governor caught wind of the affair, but for some time pretended not to notice.
You know what?
Once,
For some reason, I like these numbers better.
Kaishu slipped into the house and made himself right at home. When the governor came back, he noticed that his wife and the other women seemed a bit flustered, and he understood right away.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it's too big. Let's try this one then. 2500.
Which normally stood open is now
2500.
Obviously, that is where the
Alright, so that one's acceptable.
The governor called a senior retainer and
Have a
had
pen.
them two workmen. Then he ordered the chest carried immediately to Gyeong as a fee
Okay, that
for
works.
having some sutras chanted there. Off the chest.
Alright, now.
Accompanied by the retainer.
It's been forever since I've done this. Lock alpha.
The wife
Lock
and the woman
pixels.
kept quiet.
No, that's not what I want.
The Gyeong monks came out to receive the chest and were much impressed with the donor's generosity. Go get the abbot, they said to each other. Can't
New
very
layer.
well open it without him. But the
We're
one
gonna
who
name
came
this
back after a long
Sketch.
delay to report that the abbot was nowhere.
See, I'm learning. I'm actually naming the
The
layers.
retainer complained that they had no
Let's act.
I'm here, he
Yeah, let's go ahead and give it a color.
Accuse you of anything.
I don't know
Go ahead
why.
and open it. I'm in a hurry.
Alright,
The
now...
monks were still wondering what to do when a doleful little voice from inside the chest piped up. Any monk will do, you know. The monks could hardly believe their ears, but very
I think that's a
soon they
visual.
opened the chest, and out popped the head of their abbot. The sight so alarmed that they all fled, and so did the retainer. Meanwhile,
Now let's make it more
Abner
gray because I'm
extracted
used to
himself from
actual...
the chest and ran to hide. Of course,
You're still very
the
visual.
governor could have hauled Kaiju.
Alright, let's also make you a little smaller.
Given him a good, swift kick. But this would have not looked very good. It was very wise of him to shame...
If anybody's wondering what I'm listening to, I'm listening to the Japanese Myths and Tales from Hitchcock Handyman. Go watch Hitchcock Handyman. Mostly does audiobooks. For free, which is wonderful. They also randomly do historic, like they do a lot of things, but their main bread and butter is audiobooks. All right, so let's pull up the creature I'm working on today because no one's here to help me choose. So we're gonna just go to the front of the pack. I'm gonna pull up the card. And it is a Abada. Abada is a unicorn type. It's moderate, blah, 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 blah. Let's read its bulrush horn, blah, blah, blah. Appearing to those who are lost, the Abada is a peaceful creature until attacked. They guide lost children home and defend the wild from fires. When hunted for their horns, which act as an antidote, act as an antidote to all poisons and disease. Alright. This is basically what Europeans... Well, not Europeans. This is a creature originally from our mythology from Central Africa, I think. Anyways, I haven't named yet or worked on Central Africa in our own, but basically from all the reading of it, it's got two curved horns instead of one. It's got all. It to me just sounded like a rhino, a big rhino, especially the way it's explained. A lot of people draw it as a gazelle, but I'm gonna do it as a big sort of two-horned rhino. It's a little bit more mystic. A little bit more small because it's more. It's supposedly more horse-like, but with Well, yeah, I could base it off of the old. Although I don't think those horns. Okay. Based off of a old and. Actually, that would work. Alright, so let's type that in. If you notice, I like to try and use a lot of real world. And Arsinotherium. Dang, that thing looks fun. Let's pull a picture up for you guys to open image. This thing. It's the big rhino with two horns like that. That actually fits the... Because it's got two massively curved horns, according to its description. So something like that actually would work great. No, come on. Go back to whence thee came. By the way, Hitchcock Handyman, if you copyright this, I don't know, because I'm Hitchcock Handyman. I'm one of two. Apparently they swam a lot.
was angrier than ever, and he kept his men digging.
Found mostly in swamps. Oh well. Anyways, this is going to be the...
Perfectly fresh, and gave off a pale blue. But it soon turned to liquid and disappeared. Soon,
Okay, pull up a couple images for me to help me kind of fill out what they would look like.
Japanese tales. Japan's
AI generated, yeah, the AI generated image of the Arcethonium
is a must for
doesn't even have the freaking
and
horns
is a great
or looks anything like a...
The original Great Buddha was dedicated in 752 in a magnificent ceremony attended by monks from all over Asia. When Emperor Shumo built
That's the same image flipped.
long ago, he had his workmen cast a huge seated bronze image
Let's see, probably going to make these horns a little bit more hollow,
and enshrined it in a correspondingly vast hall.
like a resonator. I do not, no, they were not actually hollow. But I'm going to have them a little bit more hollow, I think.
For the emperor, this great Buddha was the priceless jewel that was to draw our land together in the Buddhist faith. And he gave himself to the project, heart and soul. When the time came to build the dais for the Buddha to
Alright.
rest on, and the dais would look like a lotus flower, the emperor dug the first spadefuls of earth himself.
Mirror.
And his empress carried the earth away in the long sleeves of her robe. The temple was quickly built, with willing support from all.
Let's cover the image of me working. There we go.
The next layer was to get thousands of
Alright.
gold to gild the Buddha. But where were they to come from? Japan had never had much gold. The emperor said
Why are you bigger?
laden with treasure to buy the gold
When I-
required. And next spring, the emperor returned. Craftsmen were assembled and started work, but the color of the gold was wrong, and besides, there was still not enough of it, even for the great Buddha, let alone
Why are you
the
the same exact size
halls of the temple.
that I...
In this desperate situation, the emperor called in the greatest monks of the time to ask their advice. They told him about Golden Peak, a mountain in Yoshino County of Yamato Province,
Oh,
and
well.
said this mountain was bound to have gold. But they reminded His Majesty that a powerful god watched over Golden Peak, and recommended that
Alright, nope, I already don't like this size. Alright.
His Majesty
File.
speak to the god. The
New.
emperor ordered Rogan, the monk in charge of the whole project, to beg the god respectfully for some
I'm going to make the width
after praying
3,000.
days and nights.
Height 2,500.
The god appeared as a monk and said,
Yeah, I don't care.
the gold of my mountain was placed here by
There we go. It's a little bit...
the future Buddha. It will be given out when Moroku comes into the world and must be
Oh,
kept till
you
then.
go away. Yes.
My role is only,
Discard. Go away. Okay.
but I will tell you what to do. In Sheik County, only province,
Nope, don't.
along the river,
I caught you.
to Lake Biwa, there is a spot called the God.
New layer.
Nearby
Sketch.
is a little
Okay.
isolated hill
And I'm on the sketch layer.
forms Subaki Point. You will find there a group of sandy rocks. There always used to be an old man fishing in one of them. Build a chapel on that rock and shrine Iono Kanan. Then pray there for your gold. You will get it, I promise.
Do 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 do.
In the Emperor's
We're making you a little bit skinnier
The hill was there, and Subaki Point had the strange rocks the god had mentioned. Among them was the one the old man
to make you a little less like a rhino.
Robin had soon made a Neono Kanal and built a chapel, and he prayed there for gold. Shortly, Mutsu and Shimotsuku province in the north sent a gift to the emperor in the form of some gold.
And then you have hooves like a horse.
Metalworkers summoned to Milton found that it really was the most beautiful yellow gold. The delighted emperor sent for more, and it quickly arrived. So much was This was natural because Gyogi was a beloved saint, a great teacher, preacher, and builder whose work helped everyone throughout the land. But Gyogi declined. "No, your majesty," he said, "I am not worthy. The man you need is on his way here from across the sea." His majesty let Gyogi lead 100 monks and a band of court musicians to that
Part of the reason why I think it's rhino is because the tail
down the shore to welcome
is
the monk Gyogi
claimed to be like that of a.
in India from Kabera, where the Buddha himself was
I'm
born.
gonna need bigger head.
Baraman, who longed to meet the Buddha Shiva Monju in person,
See,
had
is
learned in
this?
a dream that
Is
Monju
this?
lived on a Chinese mountain
Okay.
named Godisa. He left
No, okay, that doesn't do nothing.
but an old man
I don't need you then. Alright,
that for the benefit of all sentient beings there, Monju
crop,
had now been born
perspective,
again in Japan.
warp.
So Baraman went on to Japan.
Alright.
Thanks to divine inspiration, Gyogi knew he was coming.
Oh, that just does.
When Baraman
Does that. Okay.
at Naniwa, Gyogi set a bowl of holy water afloat in the sea. The bowl sailed off westward.
Alright, I'll just do what I normally do then.
Till it vanished from sight. Then it reappeared, sailing landward, this time in front
Joe,
of
you can just use this tool or this tool or
Baraman
yada
knew
yada.
his consecration and hoped he would be in time.
Probably.
Baraman and Gyogi joyfully took each other's hands.
Probably. If you have any idea what you're doing, you can.
The Indians seemed to have known each other all their lives and talked together like the best of friends.
Alright, let's make your head bigger, because it should be.
The love we pledge each other as brothers in truth before Shaka on Vulture Peak is still alive, and so we meet again. And Baraman, who recognized in Gyogi the Buddha Shiva he saw, answered how rightly we pledged each other love in Kabera. For now at last I see Manju's face. That was how we, in Japan, found out that Gyogi was actually an incarnation of Manju. Gyogi brought Baraman to the temple, who was very happy to meet him, and immediately appointed him to preside over the consecration. It went off beautifully. Japanese Tales: The Old Mackerel Peddler. When Todaiji had been built, and the great Buddha was ready to be consecrated, Emperor Shumo appointed the Indian monk Baraman, recently arrived in Japan, to preside over the ceremony. But who should Baraman's assistant be? The emperor could not decide, and he worried till he had a dream in which a holy being came to him and said, "You must appoint as assistant the first man to pass the temple on the day of the consecration. Never mind whether he is a monk, or a layman, or a noble, or a nobody." The consecration was set for the 14th day of the third moon of 752. The emperor made up his mind to do exactly as he had been told, and posted guards at the appropriate time to keep watch. Along came an old man carrying a basket of mackerel over his shoulder on a pole. The guards whisked him straight off to the emperor, who dressed him in priestly robes and had almost appointed him when the old man finally protested. "Dear me, your majesty, I'm not at all the man you're looking for. I'm just an old mackerel peddler." But the emperor ignored him. Soon it was time for the ceremony, and the old man was installed on a throne right next to Baraman, with his basket of mackerel beside him. His pole was stuck in the ground east of the entrance to the hall. When the rite was over, Baraman came down from his throne,
Alright.
and the old
That's a sketch.
vanished.
It's basically what I'm going for.
"Thought so," said the emperor to himself.
That right there.
He was magic. Then he had a
Bada.
look at the basket. Those had definitely been magic.
Probably pronouncing it wrong.
But
Yeah.
they were the 80 scrolls of the Kegon Sutra. The emperor wept and prostrated himself in awe. His vow to build the temple had been well conceived, and a Buddha had come to help him. still
Alright.
by the entrance to the hole. It hasn't grown or burst into bloom or done anything really in particular, but it is still there. Japanese tales. Kobo Dashi. Kobo Dashi, or Dashi means great teacher, is credited with many extraordinary accomplishments, including the invention of the Japanese phonetic script, and his temple on Mount Koyo is still an important pilgrimage center.
Why do you look
Women
just as
have been
freaking thick?
allowed there only since the late 19th century.
Supposedly half the size.
Is a key ritual implement in esoteric Buddhism. The term means diamond or thunderbolt in Sanskrit.
There we go.
Long ago, Kobo Dashi braved the voyage to China to study the teachings and brought back the esoteric Buddhism, which he then spread far and wide.
You're still
When he
just as effing thick. Why are you just as effing thick?
together and distributed among them the many temples he had founded. But there was one temple, the greatest of all, which he had yet to found because he still did not have to build it. This
Alright,
was
what
the
do you...
one on Mount Koya. Kobo Dashi had planned this temple even in China. The day before he left China, he stood on a cliff overlooking the sea and
Why are
hurled
you still just as thick? What am I doing wrong?
toward Japan. As he did so, he prayed that the Varya would land at the right place for a temple. A temple that would last till Moroku comes into the world. The Varya soared high up and disappeared into the clouds. Now that his disciples were provided for, Kobo Dashi decided to go looking for the Varya. He set out from the capital in the 6th moon of 816. Finally, in Uchi County of Yamato Province, he met a hunter, an immensely powerful, red-faced man, 8 feet tall, wearing a greenish coat and armed with a bow and arrows. The hunter had 2 black dogs, one big and one little. He asked Kobo Dashi where he was going, and Kobo Dashi explained his mission to Varya. I prayed for it to land on a mountain good for meditation, he went on, and now I am looking for it. I am a hunter from Mount Koya, the hunter replied.
Okay, so increasing the radius makes it smaller?
Tell you the way. He loosed his dogs, and they quickly disappeared. Kobo Dashi followed the hunter's directions until he reached a large river in the border between Yamato and the province of Ki. There he met a mountain man who told him that the place he wanted was a basin in the mountains some way to the south. The man went with Kobo Dashi. I am the mountain king, he told Kobo Dashi as they walked along. All this land is my gift to you. They got to a place that was just like a bowl, with 8 peaks all around it. Huge cypresses towered there, as dense and straight as bamboos. One of the trees was forked, and in the fork was the Varya. Kobo Dashi was overjoyed. He asked the god his name and learned it was Nifu no Myoji. And the hunter, the god went on, is Koyo no Myoji. Then he vanished. Kobo Dashi went back to the capital, resigned all of his offices, and settled his affairs. Then he returned to Mount Koya, where he built the temple and named it, by imperial wish, Kongobushi, Temple of the Varya Peak. Finally, he prepared the place for his own passing. On the 21st day of the 3rd moon of 835, he sat in a cave in lotus posture.
I don't understand any of you. Okay.
Meditation as his disciples chanted the name of the Buddha, Moroku. Long after his disciples opened the cave, shaved his head, for his hair had continued to grow, and changed his clothes. But they never came back, and it was only much later that someone opened the cave again. This was Kanken, a student of one of Kobo Dayashi's disciples, and a high-ranking one on the mountain. When Kanken Kobadashi's hair was a foot long. Kakin, who had washed and put on a fresh robe beforehand, shaved the saint's head once more with a new razor. The cord of the saint's crystal rosary had rotted away. The beads lay scattered.
I totally know what I'm doing, right? No, I don't.
Kakin gathered them up, strung them on a new cord, and put the rosary back in Kobadashi's hand. Finally, he dressed the saint in a new robe. As he left the cave, he wept, overcome by a feeling of deep loss. No one has ever opened the cave again. But when a pilgrim comes there, the doors of the chapel built against it open of themselves, and the mountain is heard to rumble. Sometimes people hear the sound of a small gong. It is also remarkable that here, so deep in the mountain, that even bird song is rare, and no one ever feels afraid. The two gods, Nifu and Koya, have their shrines side by side below the mountain, and still protected as they vowed to do so long ago. Countless pilgrims still void Mount Koya. All men, women have never been allowed on the mountain. Japanese Tales: The Dog and His Wife. A young man of the capital once went for a walk in the mountains that rise so attractively north of the city. As the sun sank in the sky, he became more and more lost, and ended up with no idea how to get back. There seemed to be no shelter anywhere, a problem which worried him greatly, till at last he glimpsed a hut far down in a hollow. It was a human dwelling, at least, and he gratefully made his way to it. A pretty young girl of 20 came out when she heard him, and the sight of her gladdened his heart still more. She, on the other hand, seemed troubled, and asked what he was doing there. Well, he explained, "I couldn't find any shelter for the night," he said, "and I was very glad to see your place." "No one ever comes here," she answered. "The master will be back soon, and when he finds you, he'll be sure you're my boyfriend." "What'll you do then?" "Oh, I'll think of something. The thing is, I can't possibly get home tonight. I just have to stay." "All right, if you must. I'll tell him you're an older brother I haven't seen for years. You were walking in the mountains when you got lost and came here by chance. Remember that. And when you get back to town, do not tell anyone about us." "I understand," said the young man. "Thank you very much. I will not tell a soul, if that's the way you
Ooh, I totally know what I'm doing, right?
She led him inside and spread him a mat to sit on. Then she came very close. "Actually," she whispered, "I'm a gentleman's daughter from the capital. This creature stole me. And for years now, he's done with me as he pleases. He'll be back any minute. You'll see what I mean. Not that he doesn't give me everything I need," she sobbed pathetically. As far as the young man could tell, this creature of hers must be some sort of demon. He was terrified. Night fell. Outside, something howled. While the young man's insides churned with fear, the girl went to open the door, and in came an enormous white dog. Why, the girl was his wife. At the sight of the visitor, the dog stopped short and howled loudly again.
I always laugh at this
The
story.
girl hastened to tell her story about the young man being her brother. "I'm so happy to see him," she cried and burst into tears. The dog did seem to listen. Then he came in and lay down by the fire, while the girl sat beside him spinning hemp. Shortly, she served a very nice meal. When it was over, the young man lay down to sleep, while the dog retired to an inner room and went back with the girl. The next morning, the girl brought the young man breakfast and whispered to him again that he must never tell anyone. "Come back sometime, though," she said. "Now he believes that you're my brother. I'll gladly do anything I can for you." The young man promised silence and said he would return. Then he finished his breakfast and set off to town. He had no sooner arrived Then he began blabbing the story to everyone. The word spread, and some spirited braves wanted right off to go and shoot the dog and bring this woman back. They got the young man to guide them. A couple of hundred set off, each well armed with bow, arrows, and club. They reached the place soon enough and spotted the hut down in the hollow. There it is, they shouted. The dog heard them, came out to see, and recognized him.
There we go.
Darting back inside, he emerged in a moment, driving the girl before him. Both fled deeper into the mountains. The intruders shot many arrows at them, but scored no hits. Next, they tried to pursue, but the dog and the girl fairly flew, until the youths decided that they must be supernatural, and gave up. Once, back and down, the man who had started all the trouble suddenly fell very ill, and he laid down. In 2 or 3 days, he was fully dead. The dog was surely a god of the mountain, and the man who told about him was very foolish indeed.
Yeah.
No one ever saw the dog. Japanese tales. 2 tales this time. The Rooted Corpse. The elder of 2 sisters was married and lived in the mistress's apartment toward the back of her late father's mansion. The younger had served for a time in a noble household, but now lived at home. She had no husband or accepted lover, only occasional casual visitors, whom she in her room at the front of the house by the double doors in the west wing. The house was near the crossing of Takasuji and Marimocho streets in Kyoto. At the age of 27, the younger sister fell ill and died. Her body was left in her room, since there seemed to be nowhere else for her in the house, till her older sister and the rest of the household took her off to the burning grounds at Terabino. They were about to unload the coffin from the carriage in preparation for the usual funeral rites, when they noticed that it was oddly light and that the lid was ajar. The body was gone. This was a shocking discovery. The body could not have possibly fallen out on the way, but they retraced their steps to make sure. Of course, they found nothing. But on reaching the house, they thought they might as well check the room by the double doors. And there she was, lying there, as though she had never been moved. The night wore on while the mourners discussed anxiously what to do. At dawn, they put the body back in the coffin, carefully sealed the lid, then waited for night and another chance to proceed with the cremation. But at nightfall, they again found the coffin open, and were really terrified this time. The body was laying as before, by the double doors, and had defeated every attempt to get it back where it belonged. They simply could not budge it. They might as well have tried to move a rooted tree. There she was, and apparently that was where she meant to stay. "That's what you want, is it?" one level-head mourner finally said to the corpse. "Do you like it here? All right, this is where we'll leave you. But we are going to have to get you out of sight, you know." They took up the floor, and she as light as a feather when they lowered her through the hole. So they buried her under the floor and built a good-sized mound over her. Then the family and servants all moved away, since no one wanted to stay on in the house with a corpse. Over the years, the house fell to ruin and eventually disappeared. For some reason, not even the common people seemed to be able to live near the mound. People claimed that awful things happened there. As a result, the mound stood.
Alrighty, now here's the fun part.
For 40 to 50 feet around it. In time, a shrine was built.
Do I base...
For one reason or another. And they say the shrine is still there. An old ghost. Demon Hall is in the capital, north of 3rd Avenue, and east of the East Point House.
You don't make any sense.
Long ago, before the capital ever grew up, there was a great pine tree at the site. An armed rider passing by got caught in a violent thunderstorm. So he dismounted and led his horse under the tree to seek shelter from the downpour.
That works.
A lightning
Alright.
bolt split him and his mount in two and killed him.
Now,
That rider is the ghost.
how crazy do I get with coloring it? Because it's not really explained what the color
The
is.
ghost refused to leave.
I'm going to go ahead and
They
bring
say
up
it's
that
still
old...
around, and that's why awful things epidemic sickness that caused a terrible cough was once going around.
I
And
think this is
everyone
one of the
but peasants
oldest images of it.
caught it. A cook had finished working in his
See,
employer's kitchen
Abada.
and left for home late in the evening after the household had retired. At the gate, he met
And then there's a massive amount
a
of.
gentleman.
I love how somebody put their own art on the Wikipedia.
Cook had no idea who the gentleman was, but since there was no doubting his quality, he knelt and bowed. Do you know who I am?
And then here's some African art of it, which
No, sir.
I guess kind of does look like a
I
gazelle.
used to be a
But yet it's explained as having a donkey's like tail and all the stuff.
I
So
died in exile in Eo province. Then I became a god of pestilence, disease.
you know, whatever with that, I guess.
Serious offense against His Majesty, you see, and I was quite justly punished. But I owe my country.
Oh, it's Congo. Okay, it comes from the Congo. Some of the unicorns, two crooked horns.
Which would kill everyone. I petitioned.
The smiles of it. Oh, tail of a boar. Sorry, not a donkey.
Coughing. That's why everyone is down with a cough.
Yep, no coloring is.
Yes, I wanted to let people know. Do not.
Alright, so let's.
When he had spoken, he vanished. The cook fearfully continued on his way, and told others what he had seen and heard. That was how people found out that Ban no Yoshio was now a god of pestilence. The provided ban was that cook to talk to. Could have chosen anyone. Well, no doubt, he had his reasons.
Let's have some fun then.
Japanese tales. The murmuring of the sea.
Let's go antelope.
Once, an Indian Tengu set off to visit China, and on the way he heard these lines of the murmuring of the sea.
Spell that horribly.
This is the law.
Antelope herbivores.
One's birth and death. Likewise a path.
Nope, not as. I'm not gonna color it like a zebra.
The astonished Tengu wondered how in the world the sea could be murmuring his deepest expression of the Buddha's teachings, and he determined to find out what set the sea talking that way. And when I do, he told himself, I'll give it a good dose of trouble. He followed the murmuring all the way to China, but since the sea there was still murmuring, he went right by and set off to the sea of Japan. The sea was still murmuring. He flew over the port of Hakata in Kyushu, and at
There we
the
go. Maybe something like this.
in Honshu, he listened again. The murmuring was a little louder.
This is probably what it is, anyways.
He flew on over province
Or something like it.
until he reached the mouth of the Yodo River. The river that flows from near the capital.
So, first layer.
Up the
Gotta
river.
go a light.
And the murmur
brown.
was louder still. The Yodo narrowed to the Uji River, and the Tengu soared on up to where the Uji empties out of Lake Biwa.
Tannish brown.
Here, the rumor of the waters was distinct.
That looks good.
He pressed on over the lake to where a brook came tumbling down from Yoka.
That's red.
Here, the voice of the waters.
Not the. Why are you being weird?
And he saw upstream the four heavenly kings and countless other glories, guardians of the teaching, watching over the brook. Awed and amazed, he dared not go further,
That is still red.
but he could not resist hiding
What is.
to see whether he could find out what this place was. When a lesser celestial spirit passed, the
What
Tengu
the
looked
freak
up
is
and
going on?
Why is the water chanting this deepest expression of the noble teaching? Oh, there are a lot of learned monks up on the mountain, the spirit replied, and this brook runs through their privy. That's why its waters proclaim
Why are you red?
why we spirits guard it. The Tengu forgot all thought of mischief. If even the stream that flushes the privy proclaims the deepest truth,
Alright.
he reflected, the
Um.
monks of this mountain must be more holy than I could ever imagine. I'll become a monk on Mount Hiei. And as he made this vow, he passed away. Next in line was the womb of a very great lady, the wife of Prince Ariake, who was son of Emperor Uda, and he was born as the prince's son. In time, he did become a monk on Mount Hiei, and acquired a great reputation for learning and sanctity. Japanese Tales, The Invincible Pair. In Sanuki province, there still is a large body of water named Mano Pond that Kobodashi made out of kindness toward the people who live nearby. It is so big, and the dikes around it are so high, that it looks more like a lake than a pond. Its deep waters harbor countless fish, great and small, and at the bottom there once lived a dragon. One day, this dragon came out of the water to sun himself, and slithered around on an isolated.
You guys see, right? I'm not mad.
Snake.
Well,
Just then,
I am mad.
the Tengu of Mount Hira, far off in Omi province, flew over in the form of a kite. He dove at the little snake, caught him in his talons, and soared up again into the sky. A dragon is, of course, immensely strong, but this one had been taken so suddenly that all he could do was hang in the Tengu's claws. The Tengu, for his part, meant to crush the snake and eat him.
Help.
But that turned out to be impossible since, after all, it was a mighty dragon he had seized, and no weakling serpent. Not knowing quite what else to do, the Tengu took the dragon back to his lair on Mount Hira and stuffed him into a hole in the rocks, so small that the dragon could hardly move. The poor dragon was miserable. Not having a drop of water, he could not fly away, and for several days he lay there, waiting to die. Meanwhile, the Tengu was planning a little foray to Mount Heye to catch himself.
I got an idea.
That night he perched in a tall tree and kept his eyes on the dormitory across the valley, on the side of the hill. A monk came out on the veranda to relieve himself, and when he picked up the water jar to wash his hands, the Tengu pounced, seized him, and carried him off to Mount Hira. There he stuffed him into the hole with the dragon. The terrified monk thought he was done for, but the Tengu went off again. From out of the darkness, a voice asked, "Who are you? Where did you come from?" The monk explained
Okay, this might be a horrible idea.
that he still had his water jar, and asked who had spoken. The dragon introduced himself and told his own story. "It's very tight in this hole, you know," he groaned, "but I can't fly away because I haven't a drop of water." "Well, maybe there's some left in this jar," suggested the monk. "Oh, how wonderful. What luck you're here. If there is, I can save us both, and I'll take you back home." With joyous anticipation, the monk turned the jar
Alright,
upside down to the
I guess I'll
and a drop of water.
screw that. I'll
Dragon
find
went.
another program.
All right,
It just crashed trying to
don't
do
be
that.
afraid.
Alright, you guys all have a
Sit
lovely
on my back. I'll never forget what I owe
lovely
you.
day.
The dragon turned into a small boy, took the monk on his back.
The whole point
smacked
of doing this
him in the
digitally
hole,
was so I could
burst
color it,
with a bit
render
of
it, make it better images.
lightning. Huge clouds gathered in the sky, and heavy rain fell.
I'll figure something out, but
Dragon enough to hang on. He was deposited instantly right where he had started, on the veranda
Hey.
of the dormitory.
you all have a lovely one.
The dragon flew off.
I'll see you guys tonight. Hopefully I'll figure this out by then.
Of the dormitory were sure